He was a simple man named Rehan, a 32-year-old software engineer who had recently moved to a small town on the outskirts of Islamabad for work, renting a modest apartment near the hills. Rehan enjoyed the peace and quiet of this place compared to the hustle of the city. Every evening after work, he'd walk back home, passing through a shortcut that led him through the town's old graveyard. People had warned him about the graveyard, stories of strange sightings, eerie sounds, and shadows that moved against the wind. But Rehan never believed in ghosts or spirits. He laughed them off, calling them village folk tales. For 2 weeks, his route remained uneventful until one rainy Thursday evening. It was past midnight, and Rehan was returning late due to a server crash at the office. The clouds thundered as he entered the graveyard path. The air was damp, fog hugged the ground, and the wind had an unusual chill. That's when he saw her, a woman in white, walking barefoot across the graves. At first he thought she might be a local mentally disturbed person, so he slowed down and called out, "Madame, are you okay?" She didn't respond. Instead, she turned her face slightly, and in that brief moment, Rehan noticed her eyes glowing faintly. Not from light, but from within. Her lips were murmuring something, a chant or perhaps a prayer. He couldn't be sure. She suddenly stopped and tilted her head toward the sky, then let out a blood-curdling scream that echoed across the graveyard like 1,000 lost souls crying together. Rehan froze, unable to move, his limbs paralyzed not by force but by sheer fear. The woman dropped to her knees in front of a shattered tombstone and began clawing the earth with her bare hands, laughing maniacally and weeping at the same time. Rehan's heart pounded violently as he forced himself to step back. As he turned around to run, he saw, in the reflection of a broken grave marker behind him, she was no longer digging, she was standing right behind him. He screamed and sprinted without looking back. The next morning, when he woke up in his apartment, his clothes were muddy, his hands scratched as if he had been crawling on all fours, and a white thread tied to his wrist. He had no memory of how he got home. He told his landlord, who grew pale and asked, "Did she give you the thread?" Rehan was stunned. The landlord revealed that decades ago a woman had been murdered by her lover in that graveyard. Since then, anyone who encountered her spirit and survived would wake up with a white thread on their wrist, a mark that she had chosen them. The next few days were a nightmare. Lights in his apartment would flicker at 3 a.m. Shadows moved across mirrors. Whispers filled the air even when the windows were closed. At night, Rehan would hear footsteps circling his bed, and once he felt icy fingers touch his face while he lay frozen in fear. The final blow came when he opened his door one morning and found his own photograph pinned to the floor with a rusted nail, and on the back it read, "The grave isn't finished yet." Desperate, Rehan contacted a local cleric who came to cleanse his home, but upon stepping in, the cleric fainted and muttered in sleep, "She's already inside him." Rehan vanished 2 nights later. Police found his apartment deserted, the walls scribbled with cryptic writing in red ink, or possibly blood, and his last message etched on the window glass from the inside. "Don't take the shortcut. No one uses that path anymore." And when locals are asked about Rehan, they only say, "He met the woman in the graveyard, and she never lets go."